Om Shanti, good morning. Hope my audio is clear.
Yes,
So, thank you. So, hope you had a nice Amrit Vela. So, today, Baba, just to quickly revise, the Murli that we are reading is from April 14th, 1983. So, this is when, I guess, when Shantivan is being constructed, when there was a storm or something, when the tents blew off, and Baba was preparing all Baba's children. Nothing to worry. This is just a rehearsal, and also preparing and telling how, also coaching us on how to prepare ourselves for what's to come. So in this Murli Baba was talking about a perfect soul is always content with the self and with the seva that they do. So the way to do that is being a sakshi. And the scenes of these games remind you even more of your unshakable sweet home and your sweet kingdom. So whatever is happening here is only going to remind us of our home and heaven, soul world and Satyuga. So Baba is having a heart-to-heart conversation with the children, and Baba was telling who is furthest, who is coming closer. And Baba asked a few questions to reflect on. Am I a completely free soul? Do I have anything that is holding me back from returning back to the soul world or to heaven? So a sign of freedom is connected to the sign of contentment. If I am content, so then I have nothing more needed from this world that sets me free. Am I content with my speed of effort together with my own contentment? Do I also receive a response of contentment from with my elevated stage, from the souls who are in contact with me? Or in other words, is there anyone else holding you back, holding some resentments against you? So even that will not set you free to move forward. So Baba is asking to reflect on, are you content with the service that we do? Do I receive success as a return of using the powerful, accurate, powerful method? So Baba is telling, have I prepared a variety of souls, the role that I have to play, who have a right to go to the heaven, home and heaven. And that includes royal family, that includes royal subjects, that includes ordinary subjects. And Baba also reminds that he is actually getting things done, and through whom he is getting things done. Baba is a Karan Karavan, and we as an instrument, Nimit, are Karan hearts. But the benefit is coming back to us because Baba stays back and creates reward for us. So Baba stays always loving and detached. So Baba is mainly focusing on being Sakshi. Baba says, to those who constantly move at a fast speed in their self transformation and progress, to those who complete the task of service with their own completion of the self, is same as completion of Baba's task. To those who remain constantly stable in the stage of Sakshi and observe the part of upheaval while considering it to be entertainment because it is just the drama, and thereby remain unshakable. To such constantly powerful and elevated souls, Bhaktas, love, remembrance, and namaste. And Baba is meeting different groups. The first one, Baba was emphasizing on being a Sakshi. And Baba says, be a double hero, double Hira. One is Hira, other one is hero actor. Sakshi means that the soul is stable in the stage of being master. Detached from the body, it means to be detached even from your own body, to be the master of it. I'm a soul who makes the body perform actions, not the one who performs action. Do you constantly have the stage of being a Sakshi? Does the stage of Sakshi gives you the experience of the effort being easy? So one thing is being Sakshi that helps us to go beyond the influence of the things. And other thing is being a Sakshi that makes your self-progress faster. So Baba is asking us to check for both the signs. The sign of being moving faster in the self-transformation of being perfect, being complete, full of all virtues, and being a Maryada Purushottam. So this month's awake signals are all around this Satyata and Sabhyata of Brahmin culture. So Baba is also asking us, is this practice of Sakshi helping us to move forward, to get back to your royalty and divinity at the same time? Not just being free from the influence of the things around. There can be no type of obstacles or difficulties when you have the stage of Sakshi, because we are working at a different level, not at the same plane at which the obstacles are created. You raise above, so there is no resistance, no stopping. Your progress is unhindered by the obstacles of this world because we are working at a different level. So this is the main practice of being a Sakshi. This stage of Sakshi is the first and the last lesson, because at the end, when there are upheavals, it will only be by having the stage of being a Sakshi that will make you victorious. And the second group Baba is meeting. Do you constantly consider yourselves to be the elevated souls of the Sangam Yuga? The confluence age is the elevated age, the age of transformation, and the age when souls meet the Supreme Soul. The age of self-transformation and the age to create deepest memories with Baba. If you think about specialities of the confluence age, there are so many of them. Maintain the awareness of these specialities and become powerful. Keep aware of the opportunities that Sangam Yuga brings and become powerful. You automatically become the form of your awareness. Smriti se samarthi, smriti se sthiti. As your awareness, so you are powerful. As powerful is your awareness, that powerful you are. If you don't churn knowledge, if you just listen to it and relate knowledge, you cannot become an embodiment of power. Churning, being aware, and becoming. So, one Murli Baba was telling, Sunna, Samajna, Samana, and Swarup Banna. And that Swarup is a stage of power. If you don't churn knowledge, if you just listen to and relate knowledge, you cannot become an embodiment of power, but just a speaker who gives gyan. The picture of the churning that you children show is also shown on the path of devotion. Do you remember the picture of how to churn the knowledge? Have you not seen the image of Vishnu? He is lying comfortably and churning knowledge, thinking about knowledge. He is churning and thinking about that and remaining cheerful. So, whose image is that? Look what the bed is like. A snake has been made into a bed. That is, the vices have become subservient. He is resting on them. The things beneath him are subservient, and the master is on top of them. When you become a conqueror of Maya, you remain carefree. There is no need to worry about battling with Maya or being defeated by Maya. Therefore, you are carefree and you keep yourself cheerful by churning. So, examine yourself to see whether you have become a conqueror of Maya. Let none of the vices attack you. Constantly keep new points in your awareness and churn them, and you will enjoy yourselves a lot. You will stay in pleasure because when you churn the treasures you have received from Baba, you experience them to be your own. So try to redefine the word churning based on this sentence, based on the context Baba is trying to present, the process of churning. Let new points be in your awareness. What's on your mind is what's creating your stage. Churning is not just thinking. Churning also includes holding and allowing what's on your mind to create the inner atmosphere or transform the inner stage. And that creates the powerful stage. You will stay in pleasure when you churn the treasures you have received from Baba. You experience them to be your own. Means it's your own power. You experience your own strength. Food is at first separated from the one who eats it. However, once that food is digested, the same food becomes blood and your own in the form of energy. So Gyan has a nice idea. When you hold that Gyan in your awareness, when you hold that awareness, allow that awareness to shift the energy of your stage and let that energy assimilate inside your own self. In other words, that awareness is shifting you as who you are, as if you're digesting that Gyan. and becoming strong. So there is no separation between the food that you eat and who you are, because it got digested and becomes a form of your energy. In the same way, when you churn knowledge, it becomes your own. You will then feel that it is your own treasure, it's your own power. It's not just a nice idea. It is not just some Swaman Baba is giving, but it is who you are. And you're not only feeling it, you're not only aware of it, but it is working for you. So here Baba is emphasizing on taking Gyan to the next level. Let's take a minute to digest that. Baba is meeting the next group. Do all of you constantly consider yourselves to be elevated souls? Let's sit with it. You're different from rest of the crowd. Try to focus on that which makes you different or unique or elevated. Do all of you constantly consider yourselves to be elevated souls? An elevated soul means someone whose every thought, word, deed are always elevated. You think different, your words have a power, your, your actions makes a difference at a different level. Because you have moved away from an ordinary life into an elevated life. Not only your lifestyle, but the energy that you carry through this life is different from ordinary. You have moved away from the Iron Age into Conference Age. Since the age has changed and your life has changed, then your changed life means that everything has changed. Changed life means everything has changed. Can you see such transformation in yourself? Let none of your actions or your behaviors be like that, like those of ordinary people. They are worldly and you are spiritual. Souls with a spiritual life would be different from worldly souls. Wait a minute. How different is that? Let none of your actions or your behavior be like those of ordinary people. They are worldly and you are spiritual. Souls with spiritual life would be different from worldly souls. Check whether your thoughts are ordinary or spiritual. After checking them, if you find that they are ordinary, then change them. When something is put in front of you, you check whether it is fit to take and eat, and if it isn't, you don't take it. You just leave it. In the same way, check your actions before you perform them. By performing ordinary actions, your life becomes ordinary. And you would then become the same as people of the world and become mixed together with them. You won't appear to be unique and detached. If there isn't that uniqueness, nyarapan, you won't be loved by Baba. It's not that Baba doesn't love you. You won't, you block yourself from experiencing Baba's love. If you sometimes feel that you are not receiving Baba's love, you must understand that you lack detachment and that there is attachment somewhere. It's attachment not only of the objects, of the people, places, positions, possessions, but conformity or that sense of inertia that keeps us in the same stage at low energy does not allow us from experiencing Baba's love. If sometimes, if you sometimes feel that you're not receiving Baba's love, you must understand that you lack detachment and that there is attachment somewhere. Getting too comfortable to certain states, certain state of the self, certain sense of self is also attachment. Even though there is no person and there is no external things that is creating that, but your stage, old stage, ordinary self, ordinary awareness itself is attachment. It is because you haven't become detached that you cannot feel Baba's love. Baba's love is not ordinary. Holding ordinary stage does not give us access to experience extraordinary. You haven't become detached from your own body, relations, and possessions. Even physical things can become instruments to break your yoga. There may not be attachment in relationships, but there would be attachment to food or clothes. Even a tiny thing can cause a lot of damage. Therefore, remain constantly detached. That is, have an alaukic life, not just the stage, your whole life. Make it alaukic. If you also keep speaking and interacting in the same way as householders, what would be the difference? So, examine how much you have transformed yourself. Even if you are a mother-in-law or a daughter-in-law in terms of worldly relationships, just look at the soul. She is not a daughter-in-law, but a soul. When you look at the soul, there will either be happiness or misery. Based on the context you're interacting, when you look at the soul, there will be either happiness or misery. This poor soul is under an external influence in a state of ignorance and doesn't know anything. I am a Jnani soul, and so I have a mercy for the soul who doesn't know anything. And I will definitely transform that soul with good wishes. Your drishti and vritti has to change. Otherwise, there won't be any impact on your family. To change your drishti and vritti is to have a spiritual life. And a laukik drishti and a laukik vritti is to have a spiritual life. You cannot do what an unenlightened soul outside do. It doesn't sit well with you. Do not let yourself be colored by their company. Look at yourself. Am I a jnani soul? Do I have an impact on those who do not have any gyan? If there isn't any impact, it means you do not have good wishes. There won't be any impact because of anything that you say, but you will definitely receive the fruit of whatever subtle feelings that you have. Sure. Let's take a minute to digest. To maintain your alaukic stage. Making your drishti and vritti alaukic. So now Baba meets another group. Do you experience having the company of Almighty Authority Baba at every step? Do you feel God by your side all the time? Do you feel the power of God working through you? Do you experience having the company of the Almighty Authority Baba at every step? Where the Almighty Authority Baba is present, there will automatically be all powers too. When you have a seed, the tree is merged in that. In the same way, when you have the company of Almighty Authority Baba, you're constantly full of all treasures. Always content and full. You would never be weak in any respect. When you have the company of Almighty Authority Baba. What will happen? You will be constantly full of all treasures, content and full. You would never be weak in any respect. There won't be any complaints either. You will be constantly full. There won't be any complaints such as, what should I do? How can I do this? You have the company and so you're always victorious. When you step aside, the queue becomes very long. One question, kyun, makes a long queue. So make sure you don't form a queue of questions. There may be a queue of devotees and subjects, but there must not be a queue of questions. Those who constantly stay with him will also go back with him. You're constantly with him. You will stay with him and go back with him. This is your firm promise, isn't it? Weakness over a long period will deceive you at the end. If any weakness remains, you won't be able to fly. Therefore, check all the strings. You have to go as soon as you are called and the whistle of time is blown. When your children have courage, Baba helps. When you have Baba's help, nothing is difficult. Everything is already accomplished. Acha, let's take a minute and stay merged in the seed. Feel Baba's treasures, making you content and powerful. Feel Baba like the wind beneath the wings that holds you. Baba is meeting one more group. Baba asks, do you constantly experience yourself to be Master Almighty Authority? You keep the company of Almighty Authority? Do you feel yourselves to be Master Almighty Authority? By maintaining the awareness of this form, you will experience adverse situations to be a side scenes and not adverse situations. When you consider them to be a adverse situation, you get confused. However, when you see them as side scenes, you are easily able to overcome them because when you see the scenes, you experience happiness and not afraid. So the obstacles are not obstacles, but a means to progress. How is progress defined? Experiencing happiness. Tests make you progress in your class. So these obstacles, these adverse situations and tests all come to make you move forward. You do think of them in this way, do you not? Do you ever think, why did this happen? What happened? When you do this, your time is wasted. To think means to come to a standstill. You come to a total halt and redirect all your resources, your thoughts, your emotions, and your stage. You bring it back to that situation. You align it with the situation. To think means to come to a standstill. Master Almighty Authority never comes to a standstill. Nothing stops them. They constantly experience the flying stage in their lives. Take a minute. Feel your own flying stage. Have you attained all blessings from Baba, the bestower of blessing? What is the main blessing that you receive from Baba? One is to be a constant yogi. The second is to be constantly pure. Pavitra bano, yogi bano. This is the blessing we receive from Baba. Do you constantly experience both of these blessings in your life? Pure and beyond yogi. Have you made your lives yogi lives? Or are you yogis who have to have yoga? Yogis who have to make effort to have yoga, make effort to have yoga for 2 or 4 hours, and then the game is over. However, a yogi life is constant. So, do you have constantly yogi lives? In the same way, you have received the blessing of purity. You have become worthy of worship souls with the blessing of purity, with the blessing of being a yogi. You have become a constant embodiment of power. So, you have become embodiments of power and constantly worthy of worship form. Do you remain constantly pure? You don't remain pure only sometimes, do you? If someone becomes impure for even a day, he enters in the list of those who are impure. So, are you in the list of those who are pure? You never get angry, do you? Would being angry or having any attachment be called purity? Is attachment not impurity? If you haven't conquered attachment, you cannot become an embodiment of remembrance. Nasta moha smriti labdha. If there is moha, then there is no smriti. Don't allow any of the vices to come. When you don't allow any vices to come, you can be called one who is pure and yogi. Pavitra bano, yogi bano. It's a blessing from Baba. Being a constant, being a yogi, and not one who have yoga once in a while. Which means who's always beyond attachment, beyond anger, because all of these impurities, more does not allow to have smriti of being a yogi. Bapdada hopes that every child will have the determination never to have waste thoughts. Anything that is not relevant is wasting not only your time, your attention is wasted, your awareness is wasted, all of your treasures are wasted. Determination never to have waste thoughts, that they will finish the illness of waste for all time. This one determination will make you an embodiment of success for all time. Making the most of your resource will makes you embodiment of success for all time. Always remain cautious That is, finish all waste. Acha. Let's take a minute. Step into our yogi stage. Feel that pure presence, in that smriti, that free from any attachment, any anger, or any impurity. Feel the company of the Almighty Authority. And experience being Master Almighty Authority. Staying in your alaukic stage and going beyond ordinary. Making your drishti and vritti alaukic. Hold that Ruhani Smriti, that spiritual awareness. You're not just visualizing, you're not just feeling, you're not just aware of all of this, you're absorbed. You're assimilating into your presence. All the virtues, powers, all the divinity and royalty, you're making your reality. Free from any obstacles. Going beyond. Being Sakshi. Oh, Shanti, Shanti. It's nice and powerful, Murli. How are you going to make this your natural stage? How are you going to make this alaukic, natural, constant and steady? Yeah, Girjaben.
As I, Om Shanti Brother, as I shared yesterday, it's a very, very long question paper, Murli. Baba started even yesterday with so many questions. In fact, I noted down all the questions and barely a few could I go through it because his questions and all, they are innuendos. They are filled with so many things. But today, if you see in the paragraph which you read, he has linked the groups like he asks, are you elevated souls of the confluence age? Then suddenly he says, do you consider yourselves to be elevated souls? So if those two paragraphs we take together, first he says what is an elevated soul of a confluence age, and then how do I consider, that is that awareness, that practical form of how do I be unique and detached. Similarly, if you see, do you experience having the company of the Almighty Authority Father at every step? He just asks us, am I holding Baba's hand? Then the next group he asks, do you experience yourselves to be Master Almighty Authority? I was just thinking about the way Baba has taken the groups and how he has linked. So where one he says, do you think you belong to the Master Almighty Authority? And then how nicely he gave us, do you think yourself? That is the awareness, the becoming of that. And saying, if you have that awareness, what you do. I think it's a very big question paper. Some are essay questions, some were one-line answers. It was nice, but the way you ended the Murli, he hopes. At the end, there is only one thing he said: no waste thoughts, no waste thoughts. I think we have to make a list of all these questions and then write out our own answer paper.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anyone else? How you're going to make this practical? Vinod Bhai, Ushaben,
Shanti, brother.
Shanti.
In logic as well, while children are preparing for exams, they teach this 5 R technique, a 3 R technique. That is read, recall, register, and recall. That is, Baba mentioned the same thing, that you are reading the Murli, while that is you have to churn it, and then you have to hold on to it and again recall it. So I got the same vibe as we study in school. No, that is when the you become an embodiment of it. Baba also put across a few very nice points, that is not to remain in yoga but to become a yogi, to remain in constant stage of yoga. In the aspect of determination, um, you have, I mean, to write that down, to follow that, and to remain constantly is what is probably determination, and that we will be able to achieve it, that we will be able to be successful, is what I should think. Yeah. Om Shanti.
Like that 3 R's, read, register, and recall. But if you take it to the next level of the practice, you're not just reading our thoughts, reading our feelings. We are bringing our attention to a little bit more deeper. We are not only aware of it, we are also registering how it feels to be in the company of Baba. And recalling is more repeating. Repeatedly keep emerging that stage. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Vijay Bhai?
Yeah, Om Shanti. I think so. I was also thinking about the same point that where Baba emphasized the importance of churning knowledge. So churning, Baba wants us to churn this knowledge constantly, and then by churning this knowledge, right, we accumulate so much of power. So, and Baba gave this example that the food and the food is separate from the body, right, and then later it becomes blood once it is digested, and then it will be our own in the form of energy. We can use it And Papa also mentioned about the image that, the snake, the Vishnu lying down on that bed of snake and then churning the knowledge. So wherein the voices have become the subservient. So similarly, Papa would like to see us doing that. So churning has so much of power, because churning knowledge itself is kind of a yoga, and that's how we will experience Baba's company a lot. And also, Baba gives us so much of knowledge, but we have to only when we churn this knowledge, only then we would know how this can be used in our our situations, because it may not be, it might be a little bit different, the situation. So when we churn, then we can make that knowledge our own. And then when we make that knowledge our own, then we will be able to easily put it on our in our day-to-day life and then take that benefit of it. And then also when we churn the knowledge, right, then only these knowledge will work as a weapon for us. Otherwise, it will be there, but we may not be able to use it at the time of need. Om Shanti Prabhu, thank you.
Harshabhai, I wanted to ask you something, the same thing on churning. I was again visualizing the picture of Anantasayana. I call him as carefree Vishnu, because he is nicely, coolly lying on a bed of snakes, having Lakshmi massaging his legs. What more he needs? But I was thinking, really, is there that kind of a churning thing? I think I should go again to that video of that picture. But Baba says churning makes you cheerful. So I was thinking churning and cheerful, because just like a cow which takes in and then churns, I've seen it being relaxed. A cow, when you see, it eats the food and then sits down, and when it's churned, it's so relaxed and all. So is Baba taking that analogy for us to remain cheerful? Or is it after churning, the treasures and all our food is digested? Like in churning, they say the food is digested and it becomes part of the blood. And so you become strong. So can you just connect this churning and cheerful if you have time?
Yeah, that was nice analogy. I think the second one where Baba was actually talking about churning is assimilating. So what are we churning? We're not churning just the gyan. We are also shifting our gaze to a deeper. We are shifting our attention, not just what's occupying our mind with thoughts of I'm a soul, I'm with Baba. I'm not just looking at myself as a soul and seeing Baba as a soul, but that is clear. The mind is silent, holding that space, that awareness, but my attention is a little deeper. The churning is going at a deeper level. How does it feel to be alaukic? How does it feel to feel Baba's love, Baba's energy? And we know how emotions feel, how our hearts uh, palpitates, right? Our heart just like flutters when you feel that love. We know that emotion, but it is not the same thing when you are with Baba. It is that and much more deeper. So when I bring my attention to that deeper aspect and then allow that thing to make the needs of the heart fulfilled, which means something is getting full inside. So it's not only my emotions, but also as I start assimilating, I start feeling, okay, I feel good now. I feel better. My hunger has been fulfilled. So you feel a sense of content. And then if I take my attention a little bit more deeper, your sense of self, which is very restricted in body conscious state or in that limited emotional state, even when you feel full of love emotionally, physical presence of all your loved ones around, but that is still restricting. So then your stage goes much more deeper, and then you become so uh, open. And that sense of openness, which comes from the state of deep sense of contentment, satisfaction of your heart, coming from experiencing the pure love, which is actually assimilating from Baba's churning, which Baba used, that changes your expression on your face naturally. That natural, relaxed presence itself changes your body language. Cheerfulness is the natural state of ourselves. So that natural charm comes on the face. So I see Baba redefining the whole process of churning, not just intellectualizing, not just memorizing the points, not just uh, visualizing, but he's taking it, churning as a process of changing your total presence and also your persona. And just so that's where I was reflecting more about. Yeah, Vijay Bhai.
Yeah,
What
so just
wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we close this session, I had one announcement, so I thought
Yeah, go ahead.
I will do that. So tomorrow is Sunday, so it's a buffer day. So tomorrow, Dr. Manoj Pai will be conducting a Murli Title session on the Murli dated 13th April 1983. The title of the Murli is The Harm Done by Thinking About Others and Looking at Others. So I request everyone to attend the session and take the complete benefit of it. Over to you, Harshaba.
So let's take a couple of minutes to fully relax into our natural state. Opening up to Baba and Baba's presence. Give yourself permission to move into that alaukic stage. Give your heart and your mind permission to open and make alaukic natural. Feel Baba's company, Baba's powers, Baba's love and light working through your presence, working through your stage. Shifting your drishti and vritti and vatavaran. Keeping Baba's company alive and allowing Baba's love and light to work through you for the rest of the day. Om Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Harshabai. Thank you, Divine Family. We shall connect again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, you all have a blissful day. Om Shanti.